Hey guys, it's Sambrix, and guys, today we're going to do a review of the new Godzilla vs. Kong Playmate Toys Kong with Axe. This, of course, going to be a Walmart exclusive and is going to retail for $9.99. Pretty excited to, of course, open it. So let me open it and, of course, do the review. And here we have Kong, of course, out of the packaging. I'm pretty excited, of course, to talk about this figure. There's some really good things, and there's actually some little bad things. The main thing actually is going to be the head sculpt right here, and I'm not the biggest fan of it. I don't know why. To me, it looks kind of weird. I think it might be the teeth or the eyes. I think it might just be actually both of them. To me, the teeth of Kong, to me right there, kind of looks like those vampire teeth you actually put in your mouth. And the eyes, I don't know why. To me, they look kind of weird, maybe just because of the painting, or maybe the color, or maybe it's kind of small. I don't know, but to me it looks kind of weird. The good thing is the sculpting of around the head, of course, and the painting is actually not too bad. Here's, of course, the ears. Not bad looking at all. The other thing is, of course, there's actually some painting on top. Some little, of course, shading right there. Of course, some kind of black paint right there. Hopefully that pops up in the camera. Sorry, right there. But yep, there's, of course, the head right there. Here's, of course, the chest area. Here's, of course, his scratch. Not too bad looking at all. Here's, of course, his stomach. Here's, of course, his arms. There's, of course, some shading in some parts, and that actually does look really nice. Pretty shocked with that. And both sides, of course. Here's, of course, a little bit more shading in this one right here. And that actually looks pretty nice. Here's, of course, his hands. A little more painting right there. Also, some little more shading. Here's, of course, more painting right here. So yep, of course, that's the hands. Here's, of course, the legs. And the legs had the most shading right here so far I could tell, especially this leg right here. There's a lot of shading right there. Here's, of course, the bottom. And the back actually has no painting at all. That's pretty interesting. The other thing is pretty interesting with this leg. This thing likes to pop out a lot, but so far it's not falling. But yep, there you go. It likes popping up like that. So far has not fallen off, but so far when I do this, just push it in and it goes back in. So that's pretty interesting right there. Here's, of course, the back. Here's, of course, more of the back right there. So yep, that's pretty much, of course, Kong right there. Of course, painting. Pretty shocked with, of course, another thing is that there's actually some kind of little battle damage thing. And it's actually right here in his arm, of course. And the other thing is you can notice that this some reason has a dot right there for, of course, how, of course, to move the hand. But the thing is, right here does not show it. And the thing is, you can actually pop this out. So technically Kong, of course, got bit or he got hit by, of course, something. And, of course, there's some, of course, battle damage. The other thing is pretty interesting that this, of course, shows, of course, the little hole thing right there. And I'm pretty confused at how come they just covered it up like how they did like for this one right here. So that's a little bit, of course, weird and, of course, a little bit annoying because there's, of course, that. And, of course, some of them show, of course, everywhere. But, of course, you can just put that back right there and, of course, still looks fine. So, yep, of course, that's Kong right there. Now let's talk about, of course, the joints. So the figure actually can do pretty good, of course, on joints for, of course, this figure. So far, this head can actually go to a whole 360. And, of course, the same thing with the arms, another whole 360. And the best part is this actually hand could go wide. And that's actually really cool. And it goes pretty high. So that's really awesome. Same thing, of course, a whole 360. And, like, it can move around. And, of course, this thing could go also a whole 360. This thing could go up and down like that. This could also go a whole 360, but it's a little bit weird because it kind of looks like a ball joint, but it doesn't really like stick, I guess. It's kind of weird, but of course that's also a 360. So that's not too bad, and that's pretty cool. And this, of course, same thing, a whole, of course, 360, go up and down. You can move it back if you actually just pose it like this. So that's actually really cool. Love that a lot. Same thing, 360, but this hand's actually open right here. So yeah, like I said, thing I was saying, here's, of course, some battle damage. And here, of course, are the legs. Of course, the legs are actually really awesome. They can actually go up like this and, of course, down like that. Same thing. Can actually do some kind of weird like, little jump thing like that. Yep, so that's pretty interesting. Another thing is pretty interesting that these, of course, could go forward. Of course, like that. Really weird. Kind of looks like he broke his leg. Especially that one right there. So that's pretty weird. The best part is, to me, so far I've seen that you can actually make him sit down. It looks pretty funny. That's pretty funny. So yep, that's, of course, the joints for this figure. Now let's give my final thoughts of course, Kong. I don't know how I forgot this. There's actually an accessory for this figure. Forgot to talk about. And it's, of course, going to be his axe. And the axe thing's actually pretty cool. Do I gotta say? I'm so sorry if my camera's not working well right there. kind of weird. But of course, there's the axe right there, and I do gotta say, it actually looks really nice. The painting and of course the shading, and it's pretty interesting. People are of course saying there's gonna be some kind of course fin from Godzilla or some kind of rock or crystal. I think it's gonna be some kind of rock or crystal. It does look, of course, Godzilla's spine. It's just, to me, it looks way too big, and why is it still blue? It's just like, that kind of makes no sense. So I think it's gonna be some kind of rock or crystal or something like that. But yeah, pretty cool, of course, little piece. It just sticks right there. You can do some pretty cool poses. And here's, of course, the more of the painting and shading. And the thing is, most likely is going to be holding onto like a bone. From the bottom, looks like a bone right there. So that's pretty interesting, of course, right there. And I really want to know how, of course, he makes this in the film. And, of course, if he's actually going to fight Godzilla with this, or of course other monsters, or yeah, it's pretty interesting. So yeah, now let's get my final thoughts of course this Kong figure. And this is going to be my final thoughts of course of the Godzilla versus Kong with battle axe. And do gotta say, for $10, I think this is definitely worth it. This is so far the best $10 Kong I've seen. This definitely beats up the Kong Skull Island one we got, I think I want to say last year. So for sure, I definitely picked this one up for sure. Most likely we'll actually buy another one to actually make it the painting a little bit more better, or of course to do some a little bit cooler poses. And for $10, it's not bad at all. The packaging actually looks really nice. I love, of course, the colors. The only thing I dislike was, of course, the box is, of course, going to be Godzilla's eyes. To me, that looks really weird. But still, from far away, it's going to look nice. Kong right here, amazing accessory, and of course some battle damage thing, so it's pretty cool. So yep, definitely recommend this figure, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you guys next time. Bye.